Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome to today's episode of Top Deck, my friends. I appreciate you tuning in for today's Esper Monument ramp deck. That is correct. We got a lot going on. We did a mud artifact deck earlier this week, I believe it was. A little bit different spin here today with this one. Very excited to cover it. We do have a lot coming your way. This is a Platinum to Mythic 6+ win deck again. Lots of these decks, which is great. We're going to fill our top decks here through the end of January into Kaldheim. Now, as we wait, as we figure out what we got going on today, I implore you to go down below and check out the timestamps that make sense for the portion of the video for you, where we're going to talk about the deck strategy objective. We're going to cover the deck list. We'll talk about the sideboard, how we pull that together in a best of 3 guide, and then we're going to go play some competitive Magic here today in both best of 1 and best of 3. Last but not least, we'll pull it all together for you in a nice little afterthought and kind of where we think things fit in the meta. So with that said, Planeswalkers, let's hop right into it here. But before we do, a huge thank you. As always, I appreciate your support, so please make sure you subscribe down over there and like the video if you enjoyed today's episode or the other ones or whatever you want. So with that said, this is an Esper Monument ramp deck. Kind of in nomenclature, a little bit different here today, but Esper is the blue, white, and black, giving us Esper. And additionally, it's a Monument deck because we have Forsaken Monument here. Colorless creatures we control get +2/+2. Whenever we tap a permanent for a colorless, we get to add an additional colorless. And then whenever we cast a colorless spell, we gain 2 life. And then additionally, I'm calling it ramp because that additional value that we're gaining there, we're gaining value out of Solemn Simulacrum and also Palladium and also Skyclave. So a lot of things here to ultimately ramp to Ugin. Now that is really the objective, is locking down the early game, being able to survive, play around, get the cards that we need to quickly get to Ugin. We also have great exile cards here to save the board, as well as things like Elspeth Conquers Death to lock other things down. So that is really what this deck is about. And additionally, as a one-off here, we have Shimmering Dragon, which is pretty cool because we can tap 2 untapped artifacts. This guy also gets hexproof, and then we can draw a card. So oddly enough, I didn't actually have this, so I had to go ahead and craft. But that is really what this deck is about. We got some ability to push on both sides here, one with Dance the Manse, with all these items that may fill the graveyard, and then additionally on the top end with Ugin, slamming this guy, dealing 3 damage, exiling all non-colorless permanents if we'd like, up to 7 off the bat, and then additionally -10 there for that ultimate where we gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and essentially close the match out. So that is what we have going on. A good number of lands as we have here, which I like. I'm a big fan of these as well, and I'll throw the sideboard in here for you so you guys can see it as well. So that is what this deck is about. Very excited about that. If you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. Happy to help. And additionally, feel free to hop in the Discord server, you guys. That is down below in the description. Additionally, the deck list and the deck links are there for you too. So let's go ahead now and dive into this a little bit deeper. So first off, we got Soul Guide Lantern. This enters, we can exile target card from a graveyard, we can tap it, exile opponent's graveyard, and then sack it and draw a card. Additionally, we got the Birth of Melodies. This saga gives us 3 things. We get to go grab a plains, we get a 0/4 colorless wall, and we gain 2 life. This again helps delay. We got Omen of the Sea, which helps with our hand, and smoothing, where we have flash, we can scry 2, then draw a card, and then obviously we can sack this and scry 2 again. We have Golden Egg, so this enters, we draw a card, so a nice little cantrip. We can pay 1, sacrifice it, add 1 color or 1 mana of any color, so it's really helpful in the 3 color lineup that we have here. And then additionally, we can pay 2, sack it, and we gain 3 life. We got Maze Mine Tomb, one of my favorite cards from M21. We can tap this guy, scry 1, put a page counter on it. We can pay 2, tap it, and draw a card and get a page counter, and then for 4 more page counters we're going to gain 4 life. We got Dance of the Manse, so another ability to pull things back at the late game coming from the earlier side here. It has a X cast ability where we can return up to X target artifacts or non-aura enchantment cards, each with converted mana cost X or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. If X is 6 or more, those permanents are 4/4 creatures in addition to their other types. very powerful there. We got Dimir, so again adds the 2 like we talked about. We got Skyclave Relic, so this thing can enter in. We can add 1 color of any mana if we tap it as that artifact, or we can kick it for another 3. When it enters, we get to create 2 tap tokens that are copies of Skyclave Relic. We also have, and this is not a legendary, so keep that in mind, we have the extinction event here where we can choose odd or even and wipe the creature board. 0 is even, so that gets rid of tokens. We have Solemn Simulacrum. This guy enters, we can go fetch a nice little basic land from our library, put it onto the battlefield. If this guy dies, we also get to draw a card here. We have the Elspeth Conquers Death with 3 different pieces of the saga here. We can exile target permanent an opponent controls with convert mana cost or greater. Non-creature spells cost our opponents 2 more to cast till next turn. And then last but not least, we can return target creature or planeswalker card from our graveyard to the battlefield and put a +1/+1 counter on it and a loyalty counter on it, or loyalty counter. Then we got the Forsaken Monument, which we talked about. We got the Shimmering Dragon and Ugin the Spirit Dragon. So that rounds out our deck here. Very, very nice, top heavy. Lots of things and ability for us to kind of play around and look for what we need to help us out here in the early game in terms of the delay, and then really begin to take off. So in terms of that, now we're going to talk about the sideboard. First, we got Cling to Dust here. We're going to exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, we gain 3 life. Otherwise, we draw a card. It's also got the lovely Escape, where we can exile 5 other cards, pay 4, and have this rinse and repeat. So you're really going to play this against rogue decks. You can play it against late game decks too, when you need answers and need those draws, so you can keep that in mind. Then we got Glass Casket. So this enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls with convert mana cost or less until it leaves. This is very useful against aggro based decks. This is going to be things like mono red, good against rogue decks as well. Also things like Gruul aggro, any of the Knights decks, Mardu or Boros, also great against warrior decks, also great against Venata decks. Then we got Negate. So Negate here, we're going to counter target non-creature spell. You're going to play this against control decks. These could be things like Dimir, it could be mono black, it could be big red, those kinds of things. Could also be a Azorius control deck. Lots of space for this one. We have Midnight Clock. So this will, and this is any late game deck like a Doom deck. Midnight Clock here, also an artifact enters. We can add 1, we can pay 3, put an hour counter on it. We're also going to get an hour counter at the beginning of each upkeep, and then if we get 12 on this, we'll shuffle our hand and graveyard into our library and then draw 7 cards and then exile this card. You're going to want to play this really against mid-range to late game in terms of either, I'll say potentially like Doom decks, also control decks, also, and you got to be careful with this on the control, but you want to keep ramping on it, and also refilling and get that card advantage. And then also against things like a Rakdos mid-range could be helpful for you too. Mystical Dispute, again, this is a hard counter, or well, not fully hard counter, but you can counter anything except it's a slip. So our opponents can slip out by paying 3, and it's, again, counter target spell unless its controller pays that. Here you're going to place against anything running blue, so this could be Azorius decks, it could be Dimir control decks, Yorion decks, great in those spaces. Really focused around late game decks, Doom decks, those kinds of things. Then we got Necromentia. So this is one of my favorite cards. You guys have seen me run this in some other decks. I really like it. I think mainly first in maybe the mono black control, I want to say 1 or 2 months ago. I did get hit with this the other day and practically cried. I think it was yesterday's video, maybe not, but the reality is this really locks people out. So here, choose a card name other than a basic land card, search your opponent's graveyard, hand, and library, exile those cards, and then if it's one from their hand, they create a 2/2 creature token that way. So this is a great way to remove things like Ugin, Ultimatum. It really destroys decks, particularly late game decks, so you absolutely want to play this. You could play this against an aggro if you wanted to try and hit cleave and all that stuff. Then we have Elspeth Sun's Nemesis here. So we have, this is a great addition in terms of late game. Also against some of those control decks, you get this on the board. Great against rogues too, where we can bring it back because it has escape. So for the -1, we can give 2 target creatures +2/+1. -2, we can create 2/1/1 human creature tokens, and then -3, we can gain 5 life. So lots of good spots for that one. And then last but not least, another Elspeth Conquers Death. You're really going to play this mid-range to late game, great against Doom decks. Not going to be as helpful against a Rakdos kind of mid-range deck, so keep that in mind, but could help you against things like Gruul aggro. Very helpful against potentially Winata decks. You can hit Winata with this, Warriors decks, those kinds of things. So really mid-range to late game. So that is what we have in terms of sideboard. So now we're going to talk about how we board in terms of aggro, mid-range, and late game matchup and give you some ideas. So against the aggro, we got to be careful because this is definitely open in terms of what we may hit. So we're definitely going to want to run Glass Casket. If we hit rogues, we've already talked about, you'll add Cling to Dust. You'll probably do Elspeth. You may run Mystical Dispute, caskets, those kinds of things. So realistically, what you're going to pop in here, and you may even run Necromantia, debatable. You may run Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, because 4 with a couple blockers is really going to help you too. So let's go 4 to 5. What would I move out? Soul Guide Lantern's gone. Absolutely, you don't need this unless you're playing something that's going to have some recursion out of the graveyard. We are running a nice healthy 25 lands, so I wouldn't necessarily touch that either. We do have some good modal lands, which is helpful, so we can keep that in mind. Where else would I look to cut? You're going to want to keep Birth of Melodies. I Omen of the Sea. The life gain is going to be helpful in the Golden Egg. Maze Mine is going to be helpful too. I would consider, though, potentially removing one golden, you could look at the golden eggs. I think this is gonna be better because you can get better life over time and get more value out of it than the golden egg. And you could also look at doing a Skyclave. You could also move your front end Ugin and Shimmer Dragon out to pull things forward as well. So those are a couple options for you to kind of get to where you need to. But if you are hitting curve and you are ramping fine, you can really do some damage relatively quickly. So you're gonna have plenty of spots to kind of move things around and kind of play in that space. Next, we got mid-range. So mid-range could be anything like the Rakdos Escape, Rakdos mid-range, could be Selesnya, could be Sultai, lots of interesting things in that space. So here, depending on if it's control-based or if it's more creature-based, you can either go the negate Mystical Dispute route. You're probably going to want to run Midnight Clock, maybe Necromantia, maybe a couple of these, maybe a couple of these if they're human, or if they're creature based. This one again, more so on the control side. So realistically, let's go 2 to 5. Again, what I would do here is, depending on if it's leveraging the graveyard, Soul Guide's a good one, Golden Egg's okay to get out. You could maybe cut a Dance of the Manse, actually, because you're going to be fighting against some of that late game value with some of the other stuff up here. You could also take a look at Elspeth Conquers Death, Extinction Event, if they're not running a lot of creatures, and then you could always thin up there. So plenty of things to kind of move around here in this space. You're going to maybe take a little from the top and take some from the bottom and get to where you need to line your mid-range and mid-range in terms of the curve of your deck. Then last but not least, we have late game decks. These are Dimir control decks. Could be a big red deck, could be a mono black deck, could be any Doom deck, kind of a thing. Most likely, you're probably going to run Cling to Dust. You'll probably run these guys here, these 6. Potentially Necromantia, and maybe in this space. So there could be a lot that you end up flipping out. If that's the case, you might get rid of Soul Guide. You might get rid of, again, I don't mind cutting Dance of the Manse down a little bit. You can get the cantrips, get the draw to get some of that value later. So that's a decent spot you can look at. Extinction Event's probably going to be gone as well. So that's an easy 6 there between those two potentially. Elspeth Conquers Death may or may not hit something. So that could be a consideration. And then if you really wanted to, you could cut at the top end, but I would probably still look in this space and kind of trend. We'll go that way. Trend that way on the deck anyway, in kind of that late game matchup. So there you are, Planeswalkers. I hope that helps you in terms of the guide here. We're going to go ahead now and play some competitive Magic with this deck. I think this will hold up fairly well in the mid-range to late game battle. I think we may have a little bit of a challenge in some of the early matchups. We'll see. Depends on what we hit and how we play, and how luck plays a role today. And then additionally, I do think a rogues deck's gonna be fairly hard. Particularly best of one rogues could certainly stomp us pretty bad, just because most of that rogue sideboarding is on the side there. So let's go ahead and jump into it today. Very excited to be playing this for you. Again, this is our Esper Monument ramp deck. You could say Esper Artifacts, Esper Monument. Again, so yesterday we did this awesome Golgari Death Touch deck. Super fun. Did not do well in best of one. We did beat a Rogues deck in best of three, so pretty awesome. So can never complain about that. So let's go ahead here. We'll hop into our best of one with Esper Monument ramp. Again, Planeswalkers, if you do have questions or comments, please feel free to let me know down below. You guys can hop into the Discord server that is down below in the description. As always, before we play Ryan here, Tilde Ryan, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support, so please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. This is actually a really tough keep because we didn't hit any colors. Even though we can get some decent stuff here, I'm considering it because we are playing another Yorion deck, and we may get this. I'm going to try it. Even though it's probably not the world's greatest keep here, but we could also, the trick is we can also sack this and destroy one of their lands and go pull something if we need to as well. So we can't, no reason to forget that, and that's one of the other reasons why I kept this. Oh, so we're good here. So the question is, do we want to go black or blue? We're certainly going to go blue because then we can pop in the Omen here right away and take a look and then go line what we want. I will certainly play this. I'm going to keep the Monument on there too. All right, so we have a nice lineup here. No need to kick. So 5 we can get Forsaken on, depending on what they're playing here. So unfortunately, they're certainly going to get Ugin off, which is too bad. Bye-bye, Ugin. We actually would have got him next turn too, which is too bad. That would have been a certain powerhouse here. Back that. We will play this guy. Well, actually, I'm going to play this. Play Bonders. Let's go grab a black. Now I think we can actually make this guy bigger. There we go. Oh, nice. My crawling barons. We can sack our Solemn Simulacrum next and get a card. Sack that. Could have kept that and sacked the Skyclave Relic if we wanted to. But we'll be just fine. I might actually try this. Play that. So we definitely have lethal next turn, depending on what they play. And our Crawling Barrens we can make bigger too. That's a bummer. That's okay. They delayed it for 1 turn. What do we got here anyway? 1, 2. Oh, we can do that, huh? 6. Let's grab. We're good. Boom. Worked out. We played it right. Very nice here in our first best of 1 match. So again, it was more of a late game deck. Like I said, I think we had an opportunity to excel there, and that is certainly where we came in. So very, very nice. Let's go ahead and play our next best of 1 match here. So I know some of you had mentioned on the other one, the mud deck, you know, run Dance the Mance, and there's an example of why you would do that. Certainly this gets ran in Azorius ones too. Here we go. We go first. I'm going to keep this. We get access to the blue. We get Maze Mine, so we'll keep it. Won't show everything right away. I think we play Omen first. That's what I'm thinking. So then we can look, set the pace. We can double up. I'm going to keep that there for now. I'll take a second Maze Mine. I'm okay with that. Ooh, looks like another control deck. Now, I will look here. Keep that for the thinning. Oh, poor Ugin. Guess that's the risk we hit, huh? Let's grab a white. Let's take a look. Keep that, that's fine. So we got a control D type deck here. Dimir. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Not bringing that guy back anyway. Ooh, and we got a kicker ability there. Let's pull one of these. And we can look. Keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can kick that. And go thin. Let's see if we can get it on the board. Lots of land. Oh man, look at that. We're gonna save these though. All right, so this is going to work really nicely because we'll get our wall here, and now they've like super committed, which is great. Ooh, and there's our shimmer. We can go 2 still. On top of this, what we can do, oh, they're gonna get through. I'm gonna say what we could do here too is stack these, pull things back with Dance the Manse, and that would save our Ugin for a turn. No. Now, we can also use this to remove target attacking creature. People forget that as well. So here's how Scophos works. We'll see if we can make it work. But now we just got to leave it open. They're not going to be able to do much. They can exile, though. The Polo Man can exile here. There it is. And they didn't tap right there, which is fine. Oh, I really wanted to do this too. Guess I should have did that on the stack. That was my bad. That was my bad. Oh, we didn't get to show it. That's okay. I'm still doing okay here. So we will certainly do this. We will sack. grab a blue. Take this off.
Consider this a warning.
We have here. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. It probably got Ugin too, though. Well, we're gonna do this. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're still good. Let's grab that. I'll keep the Myr for now. Let's see what the next one is. Keep that.
I will destroy if I must.
Alright, so we have lethal. They still have a lot they can play, though. Oh, golden egg. Done. We still have the labyrinth here, so we can remove blocking creatures too. We also have Elspeth Conquers Death. So if they do drop an Ugin, they'll wipe my omens. But we'll get it with Elspeth here. We have a very good board position. So we'll see. We'll see if they bring their barons in.
Consider this a warning.
We need to keep one of the labyrinths up. I don't even know if we have lands left. Yeah, pretty close. I don't want that. The Polo Man. Polo Man. Got some life back. There you go. I feel like they've held on to these 3 cards like the whole match, so who knows? Boom! We got it. Another late game deck. Ooh, moving on up. Esper, Ramp, Monument, Artifacts, Shimmer Dragon. Ooh, good. Name that goes on forever. Okay, here we go. On to the next one here. So very, very nice so far in best of 1. Pretty happy with that. It's been actually pretty interesting hitting a lot of these late game decks. I think I've certainly done that the last few days too, minus the amount of white ones that I did hit. About 21 Asians. Okay. Let's see here. This is not a great start. Okay. So we know we got a rogues deck. This will certainly be a hard match. I'm going to try it because we have Extinction Event. We can get there with that. So that's what I'm going to go with. That is what I'm going with. And we're going to play that way. Oh, the blue, the blue, the blue. We needed the blue. If we would have got that, Omen of the Sea would have done wonders for us. Probably would have got countered anyway, but that's all right. Oh, now we're not hitting anything. 2 options on turn 2. It's a bummer. Mill City. Oh. The double crab. The double crab. I would totally take out Agadeems here. For sure. Unfortunately, that doesn't help us. Unfortunately, what do we need here? I'm certainly going to do it. And I'm going to do it because of one reason. I'm going to grab my blue. Yes, I know it's going to trigger Rune Crab. I have to play that main. Just too bad. I don't want either of those. There we go. That I can play with. That's playable. So is this. We'll pull the land for the life. Let them mill the other land. Now, unfortunately, we can't get the Shimmer Dragon on. Be nice if we could. I would love it if they would drop some of their other guys, though. Which they're not going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They gotta counter that. I'll be very surprised if they don't. Yeah, that's a must counter there. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six. Ooh, no blue. No blue. Ah, dang it. That's aggressive, but good. Very aggressive. All right, so we can do this. That's really too bad. Really, really too bad. We're one short. This will get it though. Odd. Then we'll do that. And we'll leave that because they're gonna mill, so that's fine. Oh. Oh, this is so bad. So bad. We'll take a land just to get Ugin on there. Get some of that life back. 5 cards. 5 cards. They literally just need a land, so again, that works. We'll make them play it out. We'll draw it. We'll draw it. So, like we said, that was going to be a tough matchup for this deck. That is exactly what happened. So, just wanted to play it out. Show now. Did we have a chance? We could have. We could have definitely got through there. Did we? No, no. We certainly did not. So, let's go ahead now and play a best of 3 match with our Esper Monument ramp. You call it deck here today. There's our Golgari Death Touch one we did yesterday. Esper Monument ramp it is. Boom. We've seen pretty much everything in this deck so far today in the best of 1, my friends. We're now jumping into best of 3. We did go 2-1, beat 2 late game decks, lost to a rogues deck, like we said. I appreciate you taking the time, as always, to watch here. Before we play 21 here, I just want to say thank you. As always, I appreciate your support, so please feel free to subscribe down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. And while we decide if we're going to keep this deck, which I think I will keep this, looks like we hit a rogues deck in our best of 3. So this is going to be a tough one for us. We'll consider. I am going to keep this. I got Barons, so I can live with that if we can keep dealing damage in there. It is going to be a tough match. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It is what it is. We hit a bad Q here, and they get a Rune Crab, so certainly going to be a tough, very, very tough one here. That's all right. Oh, double crab. Perfect. These guys are so happy. These Rogues players are so happy they're playing me today. I can feel it. I can see how happy they are. Let's do... We'll do this first. We'll do the eggs. So good news is, though, the more they have here, the less likely they are to have a counter. And I'm okay with that, honestly. Because Lurrus isn't going to do a whole lot here. That's not good, though. We need to get to... Oh, we could. Let's take a look. We will certainly take that. Oh, if we wipe their board, we may have a chance. Oh, I was hoping they would play another one. We'll try it, though. They gotta have a counter here. There it is. Yeah. Debating on. Debating. Play this. We'll resolve. So we'll try to sideboard here and see how it goes in the next match. This is just a really bad match for this deck, which is fine. You know, it's how it goes. So we did win the 2 best of 1s up front. Happy about that. We'll just keep going. I'm not going to give my Barons here. We're just going to go to the next one because we're not coming back. We don't have the wipe. They had all the spells right when they needed it. So what are we going to play here? We're going to drop the Soul Guides. We're going to do this. We'll put those in. We'll grab this. Would it be funny to hit with Necromentia? I think so. I think we run these. I think we run these. We run these. Let's run the Necromentias for fun. Let's drop Shimmer. Well, that is our only flyer, though. Do we need Birth of Melodies? We can drop... We want to keep the egg. Let's keep one Dance the Mance. We can drop the Kickers. We can drop that guy. Simulacrum. Go 1 on that. Drop that. Let's go a little bit lower on the high end. And 1 more. We moved everything up front. let's get rid of those. Would be a fun one to run, but let's not play those. There, we'll try that. So we got that for the exile anyway. The GY. Alright, so let's see what we can do. Can we come back here against a rogues deck? Against the odds. We'll play first. We will keep this though. We'll keep it because we got these. We got a counter spell. I can live with that. Can use that, hit that if we want, and then go pick another card. That's a bummer. If we get a white though, we can take that guy out. Well, here we go. I actually want to get that on first. See if they have to mill me twice. We'll give it to him. Want to get that glass, get the white in here for the glass casket. Now, I get a chance at doing two. I actually get a chance at exiling his board too, or their board. There we go. Ooh, I could counter though too. Let's save our counter. Because we'll pay one. Yeah. Odd. There we go. And we can start to reset here. We got our glass casket and we have a negate. not going to do that yet because we want to get that going. I'm gonna start bringing that up in case I need it. Ooh, how many lands? 15. Actually, we're gonna we'll let that resolve. We'll let it resolve. I could have kicked out some of those lands, but I'll keep them in there. There we go. There we go. we probably should have actually played the casket and took Lurrus off. Too busy trying to get Monument on the board. That's alright. We have a counter here too. So depending on what they play, we can lock Lurrus in. And technically, Drawn and Lock's not going to be good enough against Casket right now either. Now it will be. Depending on what they hit though. Oh, all my counters. Oh. No, we got something. Not yet. Doing this to fill it. Well, we'll try it. There it was. We're gonna start dealing damage in here. Hopefully.
Neither monsters nor gods will stand in my way. I am proud of my comrades.
Boom! We got all kinds of stuff. We're gonna get some damage in here fast. I need to get this midnight clock. I don't think there's any in there. Well, they're going for it.
I believe we will find a better tomorrow. Death itself cannot halt my quest for justice. Heroes, rally to me.
All right. We have a decent shot at doing something here. We'll see.
Then this is my fate.
So right now, We got a few things we can do. 14. It's gonna be real close. Ah. What luck! What luck! Rogues is so easy mode, I won't lie. Everything's a 1 or 2 drop, not hard to play. Not hard to play. That's alright. I love mill, but I don't play rogues. So they have to have one more Thieves Guild or something. Crack the Wind Robbers. There you go. Good game. Well, we were almost there in our second match. Pretty happy about that play, to be honest. I thought it was pretty good. So that is what it is. We'll try again in our best of 3. We'll see if we can hit something a little bit more fun to play against. And we'll see how it goes, my friends. But back-to-back rogues there at the end and the beginning of the best of 3 is not real fun. So we did try it. We had the right idea. See how you reset with the midnight clock. Gave us a great opportunity there. You know, they made the key play. You got to give them that credit. They didn't sucker on my Ugin. They didn't sucker on the ability to take Lurrus off the board, so they did stick with it and they played it right. So I'll give them that credit. But let's see. Let's hope we hit something else. And instead of another rogues match here, those matches just take forever too. They're not the most conducive matches. I know. I hear a lot about it from you guys too. So Sharuke, we're up ranked, up paired. What do we want to do here? I'm gonna mulligan that. Uh-oh. Guess I should have kept it. I'm gonna mulligan this one too. Alright, this we'll have to keep. We'll keep 5. Certainly we could sack pull that for a draw, so that's the least playable. 1. I'm gonna keep that. Maybe we'll drop Skyclave Relic for now. I think that's the best start we can play. It's not like pretty or by any means. I could save this, I guess. Since we are playing black. Pull the Maze Mine. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Crawling Barons. Could have waited till their turn to pull it. It's going to be control versus control to some extent. Ooh. Ooh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt really bad. And we don't have anything to do about Hunted Nightmare here. Zilch. 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 What we'll do is we'll draw and then we'll look on the stack. I think that was end of combat though. Don't want that. We're gonna use Omen anyway. So they're not doing so well here at the moment. One, two, three, four, five, six. We'll go odd. They do have their barons though. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What we got in here? Nothing yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight. Shimmer, well, Shimmer's not bad. But we're not, that's not what we need. Two, three, four, five, six. We'll plan to get the control going. We're gonna have to do a few different things here. That's fine. We'll still take that guy off the board.
Ghost fire, my greatest creation.
Right, so they can make their barons. What's that? 1, 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we just need 6. We'll grab the 2 here. There's Ugin. So an exile will hurt. Well, it really hurts. We get our Ugin back. There's the exile. Oh, nice. Just enough. All right, so what we need to do here is change a few things up. So Conqueror's Death's gonna work here. We know we can't play 2 drops as much. Glass Casket works too. Necromentia would work. Could play counters. Soul Guide we don't really need. Throw the Cling to Dust in there though. What else do we not need? This was fine. I don't mind throwing that in at the top ends. Throw a couple of these in. Extinction Event's the only way to get that thing off the board though. Feel like we dropped those too. Casket's not going to help. I think we tried this. We'll just keep trying to reset the board. It's kind of a tough. This is a tough match here. Shiruki. We didn't have the best start though. Either there. So we'll play first. Now we got a little bit better. We'll keep this. So we'll just keep drawing. We'll eventually hit the lands. Eventually. There we go. There's their Hunted Nightmare again. No, we do got that. I'll let him exile the 2 there. That's fine. Six? What's that give me? There we go. Ah. That's too bad. I'm gonna draw. Then all right, so let's see here. It's gonna be close. There we go. There we go. We did it. We did it nicely. All right, we'll try it again here. Elspeth Sun's Nemesis wouldn't be bad in this either. Just thinking. Just thinking. No, it worked fine. We'll keep it. We'll keep playing with what we got here. Whew, can we turn this around, my friends? Let's see. Let's see. We're not on the play, though. Getting that Crawling Barrens out early and being the first one on it makes a big difference. Yeah. I'm going to try it. We'll see. This could be a mistake. That's a mistake. Big mistake. Oh, we're still in it. Here comes their guy. There we go. I'm going to take the bonders off. So wait till the end of the turn.
I leave you to your doom.
Like that. Go grab that guy. Oh, that's too bad. Go with the back. Grab our blue. Not going to be lethal. And we still have Field of Ruin. So I need to debate how I play this. We have one black, one blue. We grab another black. We don't want to grab the whites. Oh no, we got another black anyway. be enough. Except they can't. They're not going to get it right now. Two, 34. They can pump the Barons twice. I think we're in trouble. I could play this. It's gonna give me 2. Block the worm. I don't have a remove from battle either. Oh. And I have no creature there. Oh. Oh. Bummer. Bummer. And they had just enough to get the double up there. Oh. Just a way to end the day. So we were off pot and best of 1, took down 2 control decks. Then we lost in a, of course, brutal fashion to rogues twice in a row, and then we almost got it with our best of 3 today. So unfortunately couldn't quite get there. Very close nonetheless. Good games. Really enjoyed those. So Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and take a look at this deck. I like this one much better than the traditional kind of mud deck. We do have some good options. We're still a little light for what I think we could have pulled in. I could have mainboard Necromentia. We could have pulled a couple of those things out, but just felt like we had the answers there. Let me move this here quick. You know, honestly, I would say, you know, probably low end tier 2, top of tier 3 for best of 1 maybe, and similar for best of 3 as well, on the lower end of probably tier 2 here, and probably the top 3/4 of tier 3 and best of 3. Unfortunately, we just could not get enough to happen. When you do have some of these one-offs, it does lead to some inconsistencies in the play, and additionally it is a little hard to get some of the mana base. We were able to make it work for the most part. Early game though becomes a problem when you're not hitting Omen of the Sea or the Birth of Meletis. We clearly saw that in a couple of games, so you just need to be careful about it. Additionally, if we were to go down the Necromentia path, hitting the double black's pretty tough. Obviously it takes a while on the double white there. We did run into and see some of those challenges. So some Simulacrum certainly helps us go find those things. We did see Shimmer Dragon, but really did enjoy this deck. I'd probably pull it Soul Guide Lantern, honestly, out of the main board out of this too. But I really like what's trying to happen here. I would actually probably main board some kill spells as well in the 1-drop space, and then also maybe change up again a little bit on that mana base kind of help. You could go Potentially some of the modal lands there too, in terms of like Agadeem's. Agadeem's not going to give you a lot of value here, but maybe the Angels for late game, those kinds of things, because we are pulling a lot of those planes with the Birth of Melodies. So just something to consider there as well. But really enjoyed the deck, Planeswalkers. I hope you did too. We were hot off, like I said, off the press, and the best of 1, best of 3 was a little rough. We did make a nice comeback there though in the last best of 3 match against the mono black control deck. Got caught off guard with the 3-drop 4/5. Don't see that a whole lot, which great play. Worked really well against this deck because we're not playing creatures, of course. So of course we get matched that way. But anyway, Planeswalkers, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Again, Esper Monument, Ramp, Esper Artifact, you name it. We actually didn't get to see Ugin totally. We did have the one game where we could have ultimated, but other than that, you know, we got picked apart a little bit. So Planeswalkers, thanks as always. Truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe down there and like the video. Other great ways to connect down below. Questions, comments, let me know. Feel free to hop in the Discord, and great way to support the channel as well. So Planeswalkers, we'll see you again soon. Stay in tune. We do have a lot more coming your way here to close out Zendikar Rising. So take care, and until next time.